it's the game gonna test you. It's ups and downs. And so, like, you gotta be who you are at all times.
Jackson, Mississippi has experienced a spike in killings, with more than 150 murders last year, and about 4 in 10 remain unsolved.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your guy, Kid Bailey, with the Neapolitan Ice Cream Experience. I wanted to drop in. I got another tip for you guys. Something that hit me that I thought about. I actually had a candidate that I was working with, and he ended up getting a job offer from someone else that he ended up accepting. But the whole situation actually just had me thinking about content. I was like, man, I gotta make a post about this because he gave me a lot of detail, and I was just like, man, good luck, because I didn't think that was the right decision, but he followed his gut. What I want to talk to you guys today about is red flags to watch out for in job offers from other companies. It's not a long list. It's probably about 5 or 6 things, but first thing I thought of was, when the job description is kind of vague or just really simple and plain, that's not a good, indication of organization at that current company. If they can't even put on paper what you're going to be doing, like, that's a red flag. Like, you can't accept jobs that they're being super vague on the front end and you really don't even know exactly what your job is, or they try to hit you with the we wear many hats, in this company, that type of stuff is sometimes usually a way for them to get people to do multiple jobs and just honestly underpay you. And so definitely try to stay away from that. We're not going to be doing any job where they're telling us up front, oh, we're wearing many hats over here. Like, obviously, we want to be solution oriented and resolve issues and be a team player, but we still want to make sure we're pushing to get the value we deserve and the money that at least market value or market average for what my skill set is. And so, with that being said, that's another thing I thought about. Usually those salaries are really low, for those spots as well, because that's why the job description is vague, is because they know they don't have a lot of money, so they need to make the job description more plain, so they can actually get some people to apply. If they make it more technical up front, people probably are going to apply, and if they do, they're going to know they're not a fit up front, and then not even actually get the interview stuff. And so, the job description being vague is a way for them to leverage the low salary on the actual interview. Another thing I thought about was Glassdoor. Those toxic reviews and like, oh, this company was racist. They, let go of somebody because they got pulled over by a cop and the cop took them to jail, even though the charges were dropped and nothing actually ended up happening. The guy lost his job just because the cop said he wasn't wearing a seatbelt and that he was resisting arrest. So those type of incidents are tough, but at the same time, we want to make sure we're reviewing all of that and we're going through and we're looking. If this company just did a rift or a mass layoff, you need to know ahead of time so that way when you go in that interview, you can ask them about it. Like, is this something I need to be worried about? Or like, how often are y'all laying off people? And then even more around that, like, are contractors first? Is it only just contractors, or are you guys letting go permanent direct hire employees as well? And so those are definitely good questions that we want to be asking on the interview, because those are red flags if they're not going over that for sure. 2 more things that I was thinking about. Another thing, the guy that I was referring to at the beginning of the video, he literally told me he had a job offer, but that they didn't send him anything. So it's like, you don't have an email with the offer in writing, technically you really don't have a job offer. Like, you have to get everything in writing, and if they're not sending that to you in writing, that's a red flag. Like, you need the documentation. You need to be able to say, hey, I got the job, this is my pay rate, this is who I work for. You need that documentation. Like, that is very, very important. And so, for them not having that, that's a red flag. And then, dodgy answers. Like, fact about, you know, promotion structure or company health, culture, work-life balance, if they're getting defensive, that's a red flag. Like, they should be willing to talk to you about that. Like, you know, you should really, honestly, in my opinion, be asking them, why do you even work here? Like, what's kept you at this job, even as the hiring manager? Obviously, the money's pretty good, but outside of that, why do you work here? You know, they should be able to say an answer quick. Like, it shouldn't take a minute for them to think on that, because obviously they're interviewing you for the job, trying to get you to join the company. So they should be selling you as well around what you could gain here, joining them and getting more experience, progressing your career. And so lastly, the last thing I was going to say was, you know, in this whole process, the one thing that you always want to do, no matter what, follow your gut. 9 times out of 10, your gut is not going to lead you wrong. And if you do end up somewhere you're not supposed to be, a lot of the times it's for the better. I have another contractor in the past who took a job. He got, you know, in this company, he found out some things about, you know, internally how they like to do business. And he was just like, man, I don't think this is somewhere I want to be for the rest of my career. Like I thought this was when I joined. You know, he ended up working there for a year. It just so happened, you know, another massive $1 billion enterprise level organization reached out to him, asking him to interview. He got the job, you know, a year later, after he was still working at this other job though. So he didn't resign, he didn't quit, but he did get another opportunity that, you know, somehow just kind of fell in his lap. And so I said that to say, you never really know what your path is. Your path is your path. It's not like anybody else's. So at the end of the day, follow your gut and your intuition and do what you think is best for your situation. But we also still want to make sure we have all the details, all the facts, so we can make a informed decision around what's next. Appreciate y'all tuning in. That was me just dropping in, giving some tips around red flags to watch out for in the interview process and getting job offers. If y'all have, you know, any comments, leave the comments below. We'd love to talk with anybody interested to have a conversation. But really appreciate y'all tuning in, and we out.